I'm Ima, and in this lesson you will learn how to hold the bow. Learning how to hold the bow correctly is probably the hardest thing when you start playing the violin. The bow grip makes a huge difference in your sound, and it is therefore extremely important that you practice it a lot and that you always make sure that you're holding the bow correctly before you start playing. Start by holding the stick of the bow with your left hand and extend your arm. Place the tip of your thumb under the stick, either in the curve of the frog or right onto the wood part of the stick right next to the frog. I like to put my thumb on the wood part. Your thumb should stay bent and the tip of the thumb should point straight up. Make sure that you never lock your thumb into this position or that the thumb comes through to the other side of the frog. Next, take your pinky and place the tip of the pinky on top of the stick, about 1/2 inch to 1 inch away from the screw. Make sure that the pinky stays bent and that you never lock it into a straight position. Notice how my knuckle sticks out when I lock it, but when I keep it bent, my knuckle stays pretty flat. Now, with the thumb and the pinky both in place, you're going to let go of your left hand and see if you can balance the bow between the two fingers. You might want to do this over a sofa or a bed in case you drop the bow. But your bow should stay in your grip as long as both fingers stay bent and strong, and as long as they stay in the right place. You should feel a lot of weight on your pinky, and the pinky needs to stay still and firm so that you don't drop the bow and so that the tip of the bow does not tip over. You should do this balancing exercise at the beginning of every practice in order to get your pinky stronger. Now let's put the other fingers onto the bow. Put your middle finger and your ring finger around the frog and just let them sit there on the stick without grabbing the bow. Then put your index finger about 1 inch up from the middle finger. Don't wrap it around the frog, but instead pull it a little bit off by pressing down on your wrist. At last, you should twist your hand slightly to the left to lean on to the side of the index finger. With all the fingers on the bow, let's go back to the balancing exercise. This time you have all the fingers on the bow, but it should feel almost the same way as when you only had 2 fingers on the bow. This is because the thumb and the pinky are the fingers that hold the bow up. The index finger is the finger that adds weight onto the strings, and you will learn about that later. And the 2 middle fingers are just there to give you a little bit of extra support. Keep in mind that you won't feel this weight most of the time on your pinky, because the weight of the bow will usually be sitting on the strings. At last, let's do the windshield wipers. Hold your bow with your arm extended out. Twist your arm to the right to turn the bow upside down with the hair of the bow facing up. In this position, the weight of the bow is sitting on your index finger. You can let go of the pinky and the two middle fingers in this position. Put them back on and twist your arm back to the original position. In this position, the weight of the bow is sitting on your pinky, and you can take the index finger and the two middle fingers off. Go back and forth a few times. Weight is sitting on the index finger. Weight is sitting on the pinky. On the index finger, on the pinky. Remember that your pinky has to stay strong enough so that the tip of the bow doesn't tip over. As I said before, learning how to hold the bow is not easy, and it's going to take a lot of practice. Try to practice it for 5 minutes, 4 to 5 times every day. If you're having problems, don't hesitate to email me with any questions that you might have. Good luck!